Okay, back with another live stream, and I am going to follow up on my making sure everything's working over there. I'm going to follow up on my. I'm confused. I wanted to leave it playing, but leave it muted, and got confused. Okay. So let me kind of take up where I left off yesterday on the work I did. Okay, so I've been the previous 3 videos now. Yeah, it will lead you up to where I am now. I'll put them in a playlist. Well, I already have started the playlist. Yesterday's video I haven't renamed and done all that stuff and put it in the playlist yet, but I'll do that here after a while today probably. And then this one, of course, will be another one. But the website addonbrowser.com, let's go ahead and make that full screen, is a website that hosts a Firefox add-on called Safe Web. I always forget the name of it. Anyway, it makes it look like it's part of VTZilla. I guess I will have to go ahead and well, I'll do that in a minute. Anyway, turns out it was serving up. It was opening up. I've had it for quite a while, and I saw that something every time my add-ons would update. You know, they'll open up tabs saying, "Thanks for updating this," and here's what's new. Well, one of them would just open up ads. It didn't say anything about any updates or what add-on it belonged to or anything. Just trying to get you to download games mostly, really not even Firefox add-ons. And I looked a couple of times. I remember it was actually, I know it was at least, I saw a screenshot or something of it in 2017 yesterday. I had it since then, which might have been later in the year, but anyway, this is whoops. Yeah, well, today is 10th, 6/10/18. So I did a text search. Well, with Crusader, my favorite file manager, I did text searches, and I tried to do my whole system, but it just, after so long, I let it run all night, and at some point it locked up, basically locked up. You had nothing but a white screen, and the machine wasn't locked up, but that application was locked up. It just machine couldn't do it, And so there's another searcher, and that's the icon, whoops, for it. I keep forgetting that that's going to do that. That's the icon for it up there. This is just screenshots. It's identical to my screen, so I think I'm on my screen when I'm looking at it. And it's really fast, and so I searched my whole home directory, home Don, and my whole user directory, but it did turn out that it doesn't search the folders that have a dot in front of them. Those are used, the dot in front, period in front of them is used for system folders, and it doesn't go into them. I figured that out finally. But it is, in another way, it is more detailed, because when it's searched inside my well, we'll just go on and okay. See all these are my bookmarks backups that I make manually into HTML files, and there's one I made the other day as the Firefox format, a JSON file, and so it's in every one of those. So that is actually my research. I actually put that address in the folder name, and of course, if I did a search on Google, that would show up, in there. So those are not anywhere where it's spread through the system. That's just that address that I put in there. So I figured that out, but that still doesn't tell me whether or not it's inside. And I'm searching text, doing a text search inside of files. Every file every style in Home Dawn. And then here, it's still working. And let's see. Well, that was the first time. What was that? Home Dawn. And then I did it, I think I did it twice or something. Oh, I did another text. Okay, here we go. So I decided, okay, I'm not sure. I didn't know. Was it searching inside of the dot directories? So I thought, okay, I opened up a dot directory, the top one like this, the second one. First one I found that had a file, it was a config file. And I got some text out of that file, just some random text out of that file, put it in here, and said, okay, search for it in Home Dawn. Well, it found that text in a lot of files, a lot of Java files and stuff. JS is JavaScript, the extension. But not a single dot directory came up, not the one that I took it out of. So no, it does not search in the dot directories. Quickest way, maybe not the quickest way, but the best way I could know for sure that what was going on. And that was during the search. See, it's grayed out up here. You're not able to do anything yet because it wasn't finished. Finally, when it got done, it's basically the same as where I took those other screenshots. There's just a couple more. I mean, it is the same. Well, there might be one more. So anyway, not a single one of them's a dot directory. So it's good for some things. I don't use it much, and I guess that's one of the main reasons is because I'm always working with my system files and stuff, and I will forget that sort of thing, and I'll think I'm doing something when I'm not. So I use the tool that is the most efficient, the one that does everything. I don't use the tool that does some things but not others, And I don't see any way to do any settings in this search to maybe you could go edit its config file and tell it to do it, but that's a pain in the butt. So I just I like graphic user interfaces, and I don't do any more configuring than I have to. It's usually you go around in circles of making mistakes and breaking things and fixing them. I've tried it over and over the years, ever since Windows 3.1. So I'm just not good at that. I don't see. I swap letters and numbers, and I don't remember things well, so it's just not a good thing for me. All right, so what's this next one? I think this is something completely different. Yeah, that was something else. That's just I've got lots and lots of screenshots. I take screenshots all the time. So let's get out of this app. So that's the catch up on what I did, where I left off yesterday. Now, what I want to do is I'll go ahead and close this too, so it won't be working the machine too hard. And I need to I've already, I have Lucky Backups, what I use. That's the icons for it, and I won't open it yet because I'm not going to run it yet. But actually, on this system, I don't know, maybe depending on which version of Fedora you're in, because I think I've figured out in some of the newer versions you don't have to. But in this system, I ended up having to set up my backups in super user mode. They have it called Lucky Backup and Lucky Backup Super User. So it could back up any folders. It could back up, if you use it that way, then you could back up. But you have to put in the root password to open it up. Anyway, it could back up your system folders and everything. You don't really need to do that, because if you have a problem with a Linux OS, the simplest thing to do is reformat, which is what I'm going to do here. But first, I want to make sure I have everything backed up. I don't want to lose my email profiles in Thunderbird. I don't need to keep the profiles. I don't want to, because they're where the problem is in Firefox, and actually Firefox is basically broke now, the normal one that I use. So anyway, but it uses a lot of resources, so I can't really I don't think I want to do that while I'm making my video here, my video. I think it might, I don't know if it was the only thing the machine was doing is that, and I still don't think, I think it would make my video screw up is what it would do. It would overwork the machine. So I'll try to see if I can figure out how to plan this out. I tried to think through it, but I wasn't having much luck. Generally, I figure things out as I go best. And I did just get done with breakfast about an hour. Well, maybe it's been 2 hours now, but it feels like 20 minutes to me. Okay. So, what I want to do first, okay, I had a plan. And let's just go here. Okay, I have a plan. I really do. At least it's three steps. First 3 steps of my plan. I'm looking at my. It's still playing over there. Okay, I'm going to pause that now because. Well, let's don't pause it. Let's just mute the audio and let it keep playing. If that machine needs to be rebooted, I can just reboot it. Doesn't seem that it bothers I've got enough bandwidth on my internet that I can do it without I can let it play until the machine gets tired and reboot it. I mean, it won't hurt my bandwidth's okay. So what I'm going to do, I haven't done this in a long time. I have a little USB. I have two USB sticks. One has Debian Linux on it right now, and the other one, I'm put whatever I need to, and the other one has Fedora 27 on it, which I'm going to put 20. That's part of what I'm going to do is download Fedora 28 and put it on there, but I don't want to do it on this machine to make sure I'm safe and clean, So, because I'm getting ready to reformat this machine, that's what I'm going to do. So, let's see. This little USB adapter, it's got tape on it because it's a USB SD card, micro SD card adapter, and that little cover is just actually a cable connector cover. When a new cable came with it, so you take that off, you can plug it in. That actually didn't come with it, but I just like to put it on there to keep the dust and dirt out of it. And that tape I put on there because that started. At first it stayed in there just fine, and then it started. I don't know, somehow it got looser, and it started. It actually almost fell almost all the way out. So anyway, this has easy to boot a Linux multi-boot system. It's actually Windows-based for Windows, it's really a Windows-based system. So you wouldn't call it a Linux. It's called Easy to Boot with a 2 instead of the word 2, and you use it to build a multi-boot system on a SD card. I found out it works on a USB adapter or a USB stick. I think you can do it on a CD or a DVD drive if you wanted to. But the whole point is that you can just add and remove, just delete an ISO. That's what you boot from. That's what you download. When you want to download a Windows, Windows. That's what you download. That's what they use to compress Windows operating system install setups, and that's what they use for Linux too. So anyway, I've got a couple of Windows 7s, several Linux on there, about 3 or 4 virus rescue systems on there. A couple of them are, I think one of them's a Windows based and the rest are Linux based, as far as the operating system behind it. But they are kind of old now, and I want the newest thing I can get. So I was thinking, okay, on this system I have a Windows XP virtual machine, but since this system could possibly be compromised, what I believe is that I discovered it before I got infected. It was just a bad add-on that was trying to trick people into downloading their malware, which one of them, the malware that popped up in one of the tabs was a fake Firefox update, which I never, clicked on or downloaded. The page, it would always go to its home page, but the home page, if you do a scan on that home page with virus, I don't want to go to that home page or anything, so I won't. Well, I've done it several times, so it comes up as the page being clean, but I'm sure from after all my research, and you can watch these videos if you want to see the details, previous videos, that it's serving up malware. And from what I've gathered, it's on purpose. It's not like somebody hacked their site and put malware on their site. It just doesn't look that way to me. And oh yeah, that's the other thing, is I thought I really ought to see about perhaps reporting that. I think there's used to be. I haven't looked. I've never done it, but I used to see links like report this add-on as bad, on the Firefox. And I got to thinking, I realized here just a while ago, it's the regular version of Firefox that's really messed up, and it just doesn't work. It won't work right ever since I cleaned it up and deleted some of its files. And I could try and fix it, but there's no point for me because I want to reformat this system anyway. I was wanting to before this happened. But I think this one works okay. This is the Firefox developers version, so I could probably use it to do that. I just have to go find that add-on and stuff. So yeah, I just remember that. Okay, but I want to get some of this. But I want to scan my backup drive because my backup drive's been backing up all this stuff, and I want to make sure it didn't proliferate my backup drive. I don't think it did, but I won't know for sure unless I scan it. So what I was wanting to do is I also have back to the Windows XP virtual machine. I don't want to do it with this one, but my old system. Let me go ahead and go to this. And I think this is my plan, so I'm going to stick with it for now. Let's open up Firefox. Now I'm going on I'm going to have to show you a bad view of the camera because, well, actually, I don't have to do it that way right now, do I? Okay, let's take it one step at a time. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here really well. The camera view, of course, that's just, I've got these phone cameras, that's all I've got, and that's the best I can do, so I can't help that. It's either that or nothing. So what I want to do is, let's see, I have Windows. Okay, on my old machine, I have my old dual core machine. This is a quad core with 4 gig of RAM. So next to my mom's new 8 core with 8 gig of RAM that I built for her, this is the fastest thing I've got. And so, but my old machine has got a dual core with 2 gig of RAM, I think. Anyway, it does have Windows XP virtual machine on it. And the other day I was in it. When this happened, I got in there. And for some reason I booted it up to do something, and then first thing you know, Avast is, I have Avast on there and Malware Bots, I think. And anyway, with Avast you could build a rescue CD or rescue system. I think nowadays you could boot it to a USB. If you can, that's good, because there's one thing I never used it much because it was only good for that one day. And of course you only want to build it from a clean system, so that's my point. I can build it. Can build me one from that clean system, and if I have to, I'll sacrifice. I mean, when you burn a CD, you wasted that space on it, and I hate wasting them, you know. So they're not cheap, you know. And still today, you know, actually they probably cost more now than they used to because they're not as used as much. But anyway, if I can put it on a USB stick, then I can erase it when I'm done. And I'll use it. I'll probably use it in my little laptop that I'm always using to monitor my, because it's got its own screen, and I can let that run while I'm doing everything else that I want to do. I thought about digging out an old laptop, another laptop. It's actually newer than this one, but it's messed up. It was given to me, broken screen, but it runs fine, and I have, I think, 2 gig of memory in it, and it has no hard drive, and the hard drive was bad, but I can plug in, you know, a USB stick and boot to that, and then I could, you know, use it. Could let it run for days on end if I wanted. Wouldn't make a whole lot of heat and probably not a whole lot of noise. I haven't run it so long I can't remember if it's noisy. One thing about this little Dell 6000, it's really quiet. I can't hear it. Even when it's working hard, I don't hear it, and that's awesome. So, because that other one, my Dell 1525 that I had that I used all the time until Mom's using it right now while I'm building her new system up. See, I'm sidetracked from it completely because of all this. It has a fan that's about half wore out. It's loose. You can see, well, you just hear it rattling, and you can hear it for most of the time. But when it gets to working hard, it rattles so loud it drives me nuts. So I never wanted to let it run all the time, you know, to do anything like that. So anyway, but this 1.7 gigahertz Dell 6000 is not. It could take a week to scan 3 terabyte of data if I want to scan my whole backup drive. So this is all on what I'm considering. So I've already forgotten why I even opened up this browser. I was getting. I'm gonna boot. I want to boot that up and start making that rescue disk. Why did I open up the browser here? That's usually why I don't make videos until after lunch. Like I've been up for about 6 hours because I can't think straight. But I had all the stuff I knew I would like to make, you know, put in my video. So I thought, well, let's get started. So, here's what I guess this was the main reason I did it. Okay. Now let me go ahead and switch to the camera. You'll be able to see here in a second what I'm doing. Well, I'll just show you what I'm doing, and then I'll switch over to the camera. So I can remote control any of my phone. It's called IP Webcam is the app I use on the phones to do all this. I'm streaming my video over the Wi-Fi. And anyway, I can zoom. I can turn. I can look at them in the browser and do a lot of remote control of my videos. So I already had it zoomed the way I wanted it, but I can zoom out and show the machine I'm jabbering on about. Can't see it real good, but because I've got it darkened, but that's fine. I'd rather the screen, when the screen's white, it washes out, so I'll leave it like that. So there we go. Now you can see what I'm fixing to do, and just go right to the camera now. Oh yeah, it's not as washed out as I thought. It looked pretty washed out in that preview. Okay, so let me see. Am I ready to turn that machine on? It's already hot enough in here. It's not too bad. I mean, it's 77.5 with my machine, my server, the laptop, and Mom's machine running. That's really pretty good. So it's 86 outside. I can see that on my screen here. So the air conditioner's running enough to keep me from dying. But I'm fixing to add another machine. I don't want to run it any longer than I have to. All these machines. Let's see. What do I need for? Okay. Now, I don't want to do it this way. I'm really getting myself confused. What I want to do is go to Mom's machine. I want to download OBS Studio, install it, and I'll do it. I can use the camera to show what I'm doing. That's the only way I could show it until I get OBS on there. Then I will shut down this stream and start a new one on Mom's machine. And I will, I can use remote desktop because it's already installed on that machine over there. And I can show in detail, my setting up the Avast antivirus rescue system and all that stuff. And the reason I want to go through that much trouble is because the rescue things that I have, I could use one of them right now though, because they update, of course, their virus definitions as soon as you boot them up. But one thing you learn really quickly about virus software is that the program itself needs to be updated ever so often. Anytime they give you one, you should get it. So that because the program and the definitions work together to detect, like, especially unknown viruses, things that aren't well known and can be put into the virus definition. So Avast is pretty good. It does miss stuff sometimes. They all do. And that's why I used to say my rule was you got to use at least 3 different rescue systems to clean up a Windows system. Well, the last time my 3 Windows 7 setups got infected through I would call it a worm, and one that could crawl the network, I ended up cleaning. The only one I really kept going until I got it completely clean and nothing showed. Nothing showed up in it. It took 10 scans with 10 different. I had to look up and find new scanners that it's a couple I'd never heard of and some old ones that I didn't even like all that much. I got on a mission to get it cleaned up. Of course, once I got it cleaned up, I still didn't trust it. It still didn't run good. I might have broke it and had to fix it. I think I did. But the operating system, it usually does, because there's usually, operating system files that are infected if you're in Windows. And, there's nothing to say that somebody couldn't write something that could do that to Linux. So that's why I'm being paranoid careful here. So yeah, I want to do that first. Okay, I guess I should have tried to write it down, but I could just do it right now and I could show you what I'm doing on the camera, but that wouldn't be, well, it wouldn't, you couldn't really see what I was doing. Okay, so and also I think I will, I don't see any reason why not to. Oh, well, I haven't backed up everything for the last time yet. Yeah, I wanted to get I want to hopefully do this today. So if I back up everything for the last time, I'm going to leave that camera just like it is until I yeah. Let's go back on my desktop. And if I back up everything for the last time, I've forgotten, left that playing. That's hard on the machine. Okay. Of course, it seems like a mystery. I'm not showing the add-on. Oh, the reporting part. We'll look into that after we do. I want to get at least some kind of scan going. So the reporting part. Yesterday I forgot to do it. I kind of really meant to do it. I'm going to write that down. to Firefox, yeah. Mozilla. Okay, let's see. I'm going to write some of this down. I need to close that. Okay, I'll put that on me, at least, because, alright, report the malware, download OBS, scan, USB backup drive. Okay, what else? Edit. Okay, that's good enough for now. I'm going to just leave that over there on my thing. Okay. There's always lots of different ways you can do stuff, so it makes it... Okay, so let's go back to the desktop. I think I'm going to go ahead and risk... I guess the camera... So I guess when you're using a camera, it uses a lot more. Yeah, because for some reason it's using a VLC stream from the Wi-Fi camera. For some reason it uses more resources than the desktop. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I could do it with, let's see, I'm going to try it. I mean, I could always just kill it if I have to. I don't remember my new password, my new root password. Okay, now so I'll just be showing you how that works. Now, I forgot when I built this system, and I set up all my backups in the regular user mode because that was the way I had done it in the previous system, and didn't want to do it again, so I imported it in here, but it won't let you overwrite the default profile, so I had to import it. And so you can't make this program open up into a different profile, so when you open it up, if you forget, like I always do, you're like, oh, it's blank, there's nothing in there. But if you remember to click on that, and you'll see if you have another profile, it'll be up there. So I have it set up in specific ways because some things I want to go to a folder labeled, Lenovo i5, and some of them like documents, videos, and so on. I just want them to go into the root of the backup drive. So it always runs about 10 minutes or so, or 15, within 20 minutes after I boot up. I'm going to click run. Okay, and it did, but I've done some things since then, and also I want to make sure everything's backed up. I checked my email actually while it was backing up, which is no problem because it'll catch it all the next day. It can just run in the background like that. You don't have to stop using your system or anything. So it's really good like that. But, if you're really, if you're fixing to delete everything, you're going to reformat the drive, then you need to do a backup right before you do that, So that's the number one thing I need to do. Okay, now. Let's see how that looks on the usage. Well, no problem right now. I mean, it doesn't, oddly enough, it doesn't, show to be using a lot of resources. There it is down there, Lucky Backup. See, it's just not using any CPU. It's only using 8.1 megabyte of RAM. And then of the shared, it's using 43 megabyte. That's kind of, I don't really understand how that all works. I never have bothered to learn all that, but anyway, everything's good. I'll let it do it. Okay, so now it will probably take 10 or 20 minutes. I'm not sure. Of course, it's already did one backup today, so it may not take all that long. It probably, yeah, I had videos from yesterday to back up, so today, so this time they've already been backed up, so it may not take so long. Okay, so we'll do that. Where's my little notes? Okay, we'll let it do that, and it'll just be automatic, you know, that now that I've started it. So I think the best thing to do now is to. Oh yeah, I was thinking about starting a scan over here on the laptop, because I think it might be able to get done before I ever got my finished with all this other stuff. Okay, let's do that. I think that sounds like a good plan. So we'll go to the camera, and I think I can. We'll try it and see. I think I can grab this. Turn it where we can see the laptop. And maybe even zoom in on it a little bit. I mean, you're not going to be able to read what's on the screen, even if I work real hard at getting. I'm going to go ahead and open up my browser like I did before and zoom in. I think, oh, browser doesn't want to open up. Okay, I better quit. I better not even try that, because I'm working, you know, the machine too hard. Let's see. Yeah, the browsers, they always do that when you first open them up. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm running the camera and all that. Actually, the browser's okay now. Alright, we'll go ahead and go there right quick and do that. It's going to get me kind of confused. Oh, there we go. Now, I'm not going to aim it more perfectly, because when I spin it back over to the other screen, you know, it'll make it a lot harder. So I'll go back out a little bit. I want to be able to at least. I'm going to be plugging in USBs to the back, and of course, it doesn't matter if you see that necessarily. So, yeah. Okay, there we go. I guess the closer to letting you see what's going on is the best thing. Okay. Now, there we go. Yeah, it's going pretty fast on that backup. Oh, I can't scan this drive until this is done. Right, I knew that. Yeah, I can't unplug this drive, the backup drive, and put it over there to scan it until this is done. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually more messed up and out of it than I even realize. Usually I am. That's why I usually don't try to do this. Okay, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to, what do they call it? Soldier on? Never been a soldier, so I wouldn't know how hard that would be. Journey on? Sometimes people say journey on or something like that. Okay. Go right back to. It's aggravating me now. Okay. Go right back to where I was from the beginning. There we go. And I don't need to zoom in. How about that? That's actually just about as, I mean, I can zoom in a millimeter more, you know, but I'm going to leave it like that. That's not that much difference. You can't read it anyway. You can just get a general idea of what I'm doing. Okay, that's done. Oh. Oh. Okay. This is going to be the mixed up video day. Alright, so it's done. So now I can unplug it. Let's see. There were some files vanished, yeah, because my system's running and I'm making videos and all that stuff. But that's all. There was no other 3 errors. That's the errors. Of course, if in this case you want to look at the errors and make sure they're not important to you. You can see what folders were backed up. And see, there's my Thunderbird profiles. They're by coincidence among the last ones. This will be a good way to see. These are all my emails. These are the things that I don't want to lose. I'm kind of crazy about keeping all that stuff, keeping years of emails. One time I did go and try to clean up my not backups, but archives of emails, and I accidentally deleted like whole years. So it didn't kill me though. One thing bad about it though is a lot of the emails with bad things attached to them will still be in there. They don't hurt anything, especially not in a Linux system, but because I don't, even if I open the email, I'm not gonna download the attachment or whatever. Because they might still be in the regular box. Well, generally, I mean, if I see those, I delete them. But sometimes I forget to say they got put in the spam box and I forgot to clean it out, or something like that. Or I don't think, spam stuff doesn't get archived though. So I don't know. Anyway, I always find something every time I scan my email backups. There's always something in there. Usually, like the other day, I did it, and I didn't actually let it finish because I let it run. I let it run overnight, and it still wasn't done for a whole day, a whole night, and a whole morning. It still wasn't done. So that's why I'm thinking, okay, I need to put it in a machine that I can just let run and run and run until it's done. I tried plugging it into my server, and my server is old enough that it's only got USB 1.0, I guess, because it didn't recognize this drive. And I guess I didn't realize that, but I knew that my backup drive would do USB 2 because that's what I'm using, and a USB 3, which I don't think I even have anything that has that. There is so many Thunderbird things there. Can't believe that. So many. And I didn't have Thunderbird running, so that's good because then there wasn't anything in act, But there you go. Well, I opened Thunderbird after or during my last backup, so that's why I guess there'd be so many of them. Mozilla, of course, all that junk's going to end up getting deleted. I mean, I won't want any of that anymore. There's some addresses right there. What are those? I saw those when I was looking for the bad. I wanted to clean out anything to do with that bad Addon, addonbrowser.com, their website. So I don't really know, but maybe, yeah, I think I did open up the regular Firefox once since then. So anyway, a lot of this stuff I actually would be actually good. All the cache, I tried to delete all my cache and it just sat there. I didn't want to wait on it, so I quit. What I really need to do is delete. So I'm not going to scan the whole drive. It would take days. I'm just going to scan the stuff I need right now to redo this system. And that cache I need to just delete. What's that? That's the red text is an error. File vanished. Okay. Firefox Dev Edition I probably closed. Yeah, it's because I was opening and closing it during the backup. Dev Developers Edition. So, okay, I think, yeah, that's just telling you it started. Starting it up, removing old snapshots. That's Lucky Backup doing that. Let's see. I think that's just counting the files that it's going to back up. Okay, so I love Lucky Backup. It's the best. For me, it's the best one because I used to use the ones that would like compress them into tar GZ files and stuff. And then if you try to open them up, say you've got anything over about 2 gigs, about the most that I could open up with. Well, that was actually back on my. Well, even with my dual core systems, I was going to say my Pentium 4, but it didn't really matter that much. The dual core systems with 2 gig of RAM or so take 5 to 10 minutes to open up a 2 gig file, so that you could, and only some archive programs will even let you extract 1 or 2 files. So others can't. You have to extract the whole thing. Well, then you usually don't even have room to extract it. So I finally realized I don't want compression, and I think you can do compression with, you can with Lucky Backup, but I don't compress my backups because I want to access them just like any other drive, and it's worked out well. It just takes up a lot more room. Now, that's a computer, isn't it? I love those old retro computer pictures and stuff. I've never seen anything like that in person, but I like to have those pictures. I like to have I like pictures that I like. You know, I let them. I have them automatic. There you go. Automatically change on my desktop every 3 to 5 minutes or something, just for because I like to see that. All right, that's a Corvette race car from some archives about Corvettes. It's a real race car. You know, not just a street. It's not a street car at all. From about 1960 to 63 or something like that. Okay. Okay, that's done. So now I can. Let's go with the plan I was trying to do and then got sidetracked on. Okay, so I'm going to unmount the drive. Let's see, do I need to double check anything? Let's double check. I know one thing, this video I'm making right now is going to have to be backed up. Whoops, excuse me. But, okay, now here's my backup drive. Go ahead and order ABC so that if I need to look for something. Now, what? I don't know of anything that wouldn't be backed up that would be important. I mean, I could always double check Thunderbird. I'm pretty sure I saw all that. It's good. So, and it would take a while to check it. Okay. And the Lucky Backup is actually more efficient at getting the right, you know, the backing up than just doing a sync in here. It has a more efficient mechanism for seeing if the file is newer or older and all that stuff. And I've went through it a lot the other day, so I have all these dot folders going to, there it is, Lenovo i5. See, all these ones that are system folders are going there. There is a documents folder in there for some reason, but I think I might have started the backup and then realized, oh no, I don't want all that backed up, and I guess I never took it out of there. But so I have the things that are specific to this system in that folder, and then the things that are, see, there's my documents. That can come from any machine. I can plug my backup drive into any machine, backup documents, backup music, whatever, you know. So that's why I set it up like that. And of course I have other machines backed up, their system files and stuff. Like my mom's, that's her new AS Rock, and then there's her old one, I call it Tita's Hot Rod PC. It's been backed up a couple of different ways in there, and that, you know, I don't mix mine and her files. So it's a what they call, well, you see, as you can see, it's a 4.5 terabyte drive, but I bought a 5 terabyte drive. Of course, I got ripped off 5 terabytes, and that's because, if you ever wonder about that, that's because somehow these hard drive manufacturers, they don't go by, and I can't remember the numbers, but they use a crooked accounting system, a crooked number system that says they're bigger than they are. They don't use, okay, let's see. Well, you know, let's see. 1024 megabytes is a gigabyte, right? It's got to do with the difference between 1024 and 1000. And that's all I can say because I can't remember. I've seen it over and over, and the explanation, it's really not that complicated. I just can't remember those sorts of things. Okay, so let's get back out of there. Just want to go somewhere where, oops, somewhere that I would want to be. Oh, that's documents. Let's just go to pictures. I have a whole bunch of screenshots that I've made of all this going on here. And I like to keep that open, so as long as I see, that's my backup video. I'm streaming one and then backing up another one to my hard drive, so I like to see, as long as that file's growing, then I know my video's working, but you can't always leave that running. Let's see, do I still have that playing over there? Yeah, let's turn on the volume for a minute. Yeah, it's still working fine. I hear that machine working hard. I can hear the fan now. So I better. I'm gonna close the browser. I'm fixing to use it, aren't I? Yeah, I'm gonna start a scan on it. Okay, and that's what I'm ready to do, right? Yeah. Okay, this won't be my actual absolute last backup, I don't think. I'd like for it to be, but I guess it could be. Okay, I'm going to unmount my backup drive. And let me, okay, let's go to the camera. This time I won't have any way to see what the camera's doing, but this screen right here. All right, now let me grab that thing. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and switch to the other mic for a minute, I guess. Because I'm going to be moving around and fidgeting around doing stuff. Okay. That looks good. Okay. At least I can see my preview over there and know that looks like everything's working. So, got a Wi-Fi. There are some, yeah, there's some USBs in the back. So I think I'll put my boot drive in there. No, I don't want to do that. I want that. Okay, I'm going to take my USB backup cable. And bring it up behind there. Plug it in to this machine. All right. You know what I have at times when I've booting things on this machine, I've actually had trouble with this one on the side being a little loose. And losing connection at times, so I'm going to use the back ones. I don't remember ever having any trouble with them. All right. Now, it's still working hard, but that's okay because I'm going to reboot it. I did already plug in that. It's already mounted. They're both mounted. I see that. You can see it on the desktop. So now I'll reboot them, and I'm using a wireless mouse and keyboard on it. So let's go ahead and switch back to my good mic. Yeah, let's do that. Hang on, I gotta blow my. Well, for once you didn't have to listen to all that. I thought I was in the middle of muting and unmuting, so I said, okay, let's mute. Don't unmute it yet. Okay, now I guess I might as well grab that keyboard, my wireless keyboard, wireless mouse. I guess I'm going to need. Let's go ahead and hit reboot now. If there's nothing to boot on my backup drive over here, you can't even see my mouse, can you? So I've got the 32 gigabyte SD card with easy to boot, and it's got some of those virus rescue things on it. And then the Seagate expansion drive. And I'm only going to scan in certain folders while I'm in the middle of doing all the other stuff. I think maybe I can get a few folders scanned. So let's restart. The machine needs restarting anyway. Anyway, it won't try to boot to the USB drive. Otherwise, you would only want the one you're trying to boot to plugged in. Or you know, if they both had something that could boot, then. But I kept thinking, well, that's such a big old drive. It'd be such a nice boot drive, you know. But it really needs to stay a backup drive. So now that's easy to boot. I don't think turning it. Well, that might be a little better to the camera. And it's the one at the top is the antivirus. So now I've got AVG, Bitdefender, F-Secure, and VBA Rescue. I do remember two things. I don't remember, some of them won't let you select certain folders. It just scans the drive. F-Secure will scan and delete. It don't give you really any options, so I'm not going to use that. And it might only do the whole drive. AVG never was one of my favorite antiviruses. I never liked it on Windows much, but it's actually, I like it pretty good for rescue. Bitdefender, I think, is alright. VBA Rescue is good for lower resource machines, especially, and this is a lower resource machine. But I think it doesn't have a lot of features either. One of them, either AVG or Bitdefender, actually has TeamViewer built into it, and I could do a remote desktop with it. I think it might be Bitdefender. No, it might be AVG. I really don't know. Let's try Bitdefender. Okay. And it's kind of stops for a minute, and actually it asks you something. Okay, now what? Yeah, rescue English. Oh, and then there's a lot of other languages. And yeah, they're all just different languages. Okay. What the bottom one's troubleshooting it. And it has a cool, it looks like crap on the screen, I can see that, but it has a cool background image for it's boot up. And heck, this is an older machine. It may be down to what will run on it, because it's a single core, 1.7 gigahertz with, I think, 2 gig, yeah, it's maxed out, 2 gig of RAM. Intel processor, Dell 6000 is what that is. So, but it should, yeah, everything seems fine, so it should be able to see my, this is, my backup drive is an NTFS file system, so these things can scan it. These things, I don't think, maybe one of them might actually be able to mount Linux file systems. The rest of them can't, so they couldn't even scan a Linux system anyway. If I was trying to scan my Linux. And that's the thing about Avast, I don't think it can see Linux file system, it's rescue. But for this, so really all I've got that's really good for scanning a Linux system is the Clam AV that I already used on here. And my system came up clean other than some junk on my backup drive when I had it plugged in. And then I went ahead and unplugged it because it took, it wasn't never going to finish within the time that I was willing to wait. So far so good. It's booting up. Yeah, we'll let it, I think hopefully I'll be able to pick and choose what I want to scan, and while it's scanning I'll just go over there. I can just use the camera like I'm doing now and go over there and I'll put it on my main monitor and go over there and start installing OBS Studio on Mom's machine, and then I can stop this stream, start another one, and start streaming from there. And her machine, of course, it's brand new, well, kind of a brand new machine now because it has, it's on, everything in it's not brand new, but it's got a new 8-core 8300 processor, AMD, and new 4 gig of RAM on the ASRock motherboard, which is a 3 or 4 years old now, but I bought it new and didn't use it much. I had a dual core in it for a while, but it's pretty cool. That's why I bought that board, because it was so upgradable. I could use DDR2 or DDR3 memory. The only thing is you can only go up to 8 gig of memory. But I bought it from Mom. I actually thought her motherboard was bad at one point, and it turned out it was her power switch. It was locked in the on position. Sometimes, not always. It was intermittent, so I never figured it out. Okay, we got internet. Okay, because we're going to have to download our upgrades. Okay, do you agree to all the TOS? Yes, of course. If you're going to use it, you're going to have to. Okay, now it's updating the virus definitions. Oh, it has TeamViewer. Cool. Now, I just realized I could connect to TeamViewer from this machine here, but since I'm suspect of this machine, I guess I won't do that. Well, wait. This is a rescue system. It's not like and I believe it is running. It's not a Windows-based rescue. I think it's a Linux-based. I don't want to open up too many things on it, though. It's not a real powerful machine. Just a very basic. I know that's Linux. It obviously doesn't look like Windows, so I don't know what version it is or anything. I clicked System and it hadn't done anything yet. So I don't want to click any more stuff. But I think I could probably run, well, TeamViewer does do a little bit of, let's get the scan started first before I, but what I could do is show a close-up of it all. I mean, show a desktop video of it with TeamViewer. Because, of course, I have TeamViewer on my machine, too. I think what's going to happen is that what I clicked on is going to open up here in a minute. And yeah, it did mount all the drives. It even mounted the drives on, well, this is Debian. I think it's, I don't think Debian uses LVM. And LVM is what? Only Fedora is the only, well, I guess CentOS could do it, but any, Fedora, well, there's a couple, one or two others that I've seen automatically mount LVM file systems. But Fedora uses LVM for your home directories and all that stuff, and all these rescue systems can't mount those, even if they might be able to mount an ext2, 3, or 4, which is usually what Fedora and most Linux systems use. Nowadays they use the ext4, sometimes 3 and 4, but usually they use ext4. Like Debian, I think it uses it for everything, the boot, the root, and the home. Actually, I think the root and home are on the same partition. And then in Fedora, there's a boot, or there was a boot, a root, and a LVM for home. I think they changed it up a little bit now, but oh, maybe that is how it is. So anyway, I don't know what's going on now. I clicked on something that didn't do anything yet. I clicked on that where it says system, but nothing happened yet. So now I don't know if I dare try to do anything else. I guess I might as well find out right here at the beginning. This one doesn't have multiple desktops, so it's kind of like Windows look and feel. So yeah, since it's such a lousy picture, I clicked on it. Let's see if it can do it. The icon came up and then it went away. It may, I mean, the fan's not running or anything, but I was trying to see if there was a system monitor in there I could open up and see if I thought it would be able to handle what I wanted to do. But I won't click that system icon again, and that doesn't look like it's a system monitor. I think it's a system. Or maybe it is, because there's settings right there. Oh, I see. That's just the organizing it by their system task manager. So it wasn't supposed to do anything. But okay, we got to accept the agreement again. I guess it's finished. There's TeamViewer coming up. It's not full. Yeah, there we go. Now it's coming up. So it's still working on downloading those backups, but I'll move it up there so I can see. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go over here on my machine. I think I'll put my keyboard back up there. It gets confusing when you're trying to use two keyboards. You forget which one to, especially when they're right in front of you there. Forget which one to type on. But let TeamViewer open up over here. I'm starting to get some bad drainage now. Oh no. It says not ready, please check your connection. Usually the only way to fix that is to reboot your machine. So sometimes that just happens. And once in a while I'll close it and open it back up. I'll go ahead and show what it is I'm talking about here. Yeah, see right there it says not ready, check your connection. And I've tried and tried to like restart the TeamViewer processes and stuff, in terminal, and it never was successful. For some reason, something just gets out of whack randomly, but you will not do anything. And so I don't want to reboot the machine since I'm in the middle of my screencast. This might be better anyway, because TeamViewer is kind of a heavy resource user. I was probably really pushing it. And it won't be in no time until I'm going to be, as soon as this finishes updating. It's taking longer. I just remember some of these can take a good long time. But, so as soon as this finishes updating, I can start trying my scans. I just thought it's really cool because I actually did pick the one that had TeamViewer on it, built into it. It's really can be useful. I remember one time I was using it to scan a drive that took 2 or 3 days, and I could check it. I guess, what was I doing? I think, I was able to, I needed my VNC and my USB cables, for my KVM switch. That's one of the things I got going right now. I have to plan out what I do with what machine, because if I need that, I didn't finish on my old laptop with a broken screen. That's why I didn't want to use it. It's more powerful, but I need the VNC cable and the VGA cable, VGA cable to the VNC switch, and the USB cables. I'd have to unplug them from Mom's machine and plug them into it. That's the only one they have available. Well, I could do it. No, it really is, because the one on my server's too hard to get to. The one on my main machine, of course, I can't take it off. And actually, I want to use Mom's machine to do all this stuff. So there we go. So, okay. Here's what I can do now. Okay, I was going to build. Okay, first I want to get OBS. So what I'll do, I'll leave it on camera 2, switch the camera over to where we can see my main screen, and I'll start downloading OBS while I'm waiting on that. I was going to say, it's pretty tricky to get that right, but I got lucky. I'm twisting, as I'm using a mic stand to hold up my camera back there. And it can be really tricky to hit things right. Let me get it switched over with the KVM switch. Okay, only negative to that is not being able to see. Oh yeah, okay. It's still running, and actually I should have just shut that down and booted it up when I was ready for it. Got a few more updates, but I'm in my username, which is what I would want to use. But a lot of things you can't install. See, the main user here, I guess administrative user by default, is the first user that I put on there, which is Mom's. And my user is not going to have those privileges, and you might be able to install some things, but other things no. So I'm going to hit log out and log back in on Mom's user to install OBS Studio. So it's just been sitting there running, heating up my room for nothing this whole time. Oops, I think I missed my letters. No, I didn't. One thing about this, one update. I can't, with my laptop, the one that I actually use to monitor I guess I could open up the browser, but since that machine's not very powerful, I won't do that. To see if my stream is working right, I guess I can try. Yeah, I can just go to my YouTube channel, and it'll show live video, and I can just do it that way. I won't try to log. I don't want to Yeah, I got to keep the passwords separate. You know, Mom's has her passwords in her browser, and I have mine in mine. And I've tried. Oh no! Oh holy crap! There is that freaking add-on. Addonbrowser.com. Maybe I put that same add-on on her. Okay, so that's the web page. So far, it hasn't opened up the fake Firefox update, but it wants to give me notifications. Now it did it. There it went. And there's something that's probably bad. It opens up a fav icon page with a Google, just a Google icon. Fav icons are usually icons that show up there in your address bar. Okay, it opened up another page with Naples Herald. That's kind of odd. Don't know what it is. Now they may be doing two things. They may be trying to get, you know, paid for pay-per-click stuff like this. This may be a regular website. I didn't want to do well. It's already happened now. So okay, and it's still wanting to do the notifications. Okay, deny, and then now it's going to say block. It hasn't come up where I can click block yet. I haven't closed it yet because I was trying to figure out what all was going on. But there is report deceptive site, and I haven't ever done that yet. I'm not a robot. I'm just going to put that in there. Copy it so I can do it again on that other one. Okay, that's pretty simple. That's submitting to Google. I didn't do it before because I really kept forgetting. I'll do a screenshot of that. Oh man, it didn't happen on my username. Well, that's because I don't have any. I carefully did not put any add-ons. I didn't put anything but AdBlock Plus in my new username. Oh man. Well, I know what it is. I'll look here in a second, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that for sure. I've been meaning to do that, so it's not in there. Oh, there it is. With links to malware. Alright. Now, let's go to my add-ons. I guess, now, what I did is I put all of the add-ons I had at the time when I built her machine, I put them in hers. I don't have VTZilla. I guess I hadn't discovered it yet. And see, I thought this was a good add-on. It's supposed to be running. I won't go into it, and I mean, it says, you know, Safe Web with VirusTotal is what it's called. I kept forgetting. It says it scans 68 antivirus, and it says web safer with VirusTotal. And I think it actually does, from looking at its code, it actually does call up VirusTotal's scanner and use it, but it's just a trick to get you into, you know, into their malware site. So I'm going to uninstall it, and now I'm going to be a little worried about her machine. I may reformat it now. I mean, not right now, but I may do that. Okay, it didn't open. Yes, it did. It opened that up. Now it just opened them up again. Block. Okay, it did that again. And looky there. It opened up what looks like an Amazon page. Holy crap. You know, I think I saw this before. Where's the help button? Sometimes it. Oh, there we go. The icon doesn't go in there. Let's see. So that's not the actual kind of reporting I was talking about doing earlier. I was talking about reporting the add-on itself. I did screen. Well, let's go ahead. I'll keep doing. I forgot to do any more screenshots on the other one, but I'll go ahead. I didn't even do a screenshot of this. This is Mom's, not mine. Okay. So yeah, the last time on mine, it kept opening up that fake Firefox update. So now it is uninstalled though. So I'm going to close the browser, open it up, and it should be gone just like it's supposed to. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and install VTZilla manually here. I guess you go there because it's a good one. There it is, VTZilla. That is what they're using and kind of trying to make you think that's who they are. And I've used this for years, and I knew it was good. And actually, what happened when Firefox quit using the old add-ons and went to Quantum Firefox, the one that was used, the version of VTZilla I was using was discontinued. So yeah, there it is. It shows up right there. Oh, and there it is. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. Where do I want it? I want it right there, I think. What's that? No, not there. I want to put it right there. No, yeah, no, yeah, no, right there. Okay, I know. I'm having trouble. That really threw me off, though. Okay, so I don't know if I haven't imported any of her add-ons yet. I don't. Yes, I have. Firefox add-ons. Okay. Oh, let's look. Let's look at those add-ons now. I want to make sure and get rid of any link to that. Addonbrowser.com. It's in there, so I'll just delete all that extra text. I don't want her ending up getting tricked. Maybe I never saved it in there. I don't know. It's not showing up. I guess not. Usually I'm up here right there when I do my searches. Or, well, you can do it from anywhere, but we'll just do it again, make sure. Okay, that address is not in there, so that's good. Now let's make sure that the phrase safe web with VirusTotal is not in there anywhere, because it could have some other URL with a redirect. And that's just for so that me or her won't. She probably wouldn't ever. Yeah, I don't think it's in there. Okay, so close this. Now let's go ahead and do that update. I actually meant to do that. It's one update. Let's see what it is. Laptop screen went to sleep. Oh, it's scanning. Oh, let me look at it right quick. You can't read any of it, so I'll just tell you about it. It's automatically scanning. Run media live. See, it's scanning that drive, but it's going to do the whole drive. Okay, this is one that automatically just scans every drive that's plugged into the system. So I'll let it do it right now, no harm. But I mean, it's going really fast from the looks of it. And right now it's scanned just 1,000. Wait, 10,000. It's in the 11,000 range already, and there's nothing came up yet. I think it's a fast one. One of them, I know one of them was really fast. So if I could get that whole thing scanned, like if I could scan the whole thing with that, and then maybe scan the specific directories with the latest, Avast or something. Malware. I'd like to do Avast and Malwarebytes is what I'd like, but I don't know if I'm going to have a way to. I don't think Malwarebytes has a rescue ISO or anything. Okay, this is my update. There's only one. I'll just hit check all, hit apply. This is backwards in this DNF drag or. The apply is usually always on the right, but the quit is on the right. Let's see. What is her? That shouldn't be very long. Oh man. So this is what's so bad about a malicious Firefox add-on. There's with the Firefox Sync, which is really useful. I had at some point evidently import. I probably did it right when I built for System. I probably said, okay, I'm going to put that in there, and then I didn't even. I don't know. I think I must have actually found either forgot or found the VT Zillow, the real one, after that. So I didn't even have it on there. So I got duped into installing that. Luckily, all it was doing is just opening up their page with all of their advertisements and links. But you see how it opens up so many other pages. I mean, you don't know if there's malware on those pages or not. They're probably just trying to make money any way they can. They probably beg, borrow, and steal. They'll probably use advertisements and pay-per-clicks, and then they'll probably I know for a fact that fake Firefox update was malware, and I'm sure there's a bunch more on there. And so with that, they can from the fake Firefox update, what I read about it was that they could they weren't completely sure what everything it could do to you and what it would put on your systems. And this is for Windows systems it's talking about. But you don't know how sophisticated it might be. Some of it may work on Linux systems too, because there is stuff like that out there. Anyway, it could get your passwords. I'm pretty sure that the way it would do it is like by key logging. So when you type in your password to get your passwords and what site it's for, and then they break into your account, steal your money. The saved passwords that are encrypted inside of Firefox are probably not broken into by something like that. Not that there isn't any way to do it. I know there are ways. I've read about all this stuff for years. I've never done it because it's too way over my. Well, I don't have a reason to do it, but I've always kept up on that one. Number one, it's interesting, but number two is I've been running my own web server for 5+ years, and so I'm always want to try to know enough to keep it safe. Is that update finished? Yeah, it's finished. Okay, so now, well, glad I got in here. Dang it. Okay, I've got that update. Now, I want to, let me look at my notes. Yeah, report the malware. Well, I reported it to Google. I'm writing down what just happened. To Google. So anyway, I mean, I kind of think that I didn't get hit by the actual infections they're trying to serve up, but you don't know for sure. So I guess I will end up reformatting mom's too. So now I was trying to be really careful and make sure I didn't expose hers, but I didn't know I didn't remember that I'd already put that on hers. So now let me think. The whole reason I was going to go ahead and do that right now, that install OBS, was because number one, I was wanting to show my work on her machine. Number two is I didn't want to connect. I didn't want to connect to my other machine that I was going to build my Avast rescue thing with. I didn't want to connect to it from I didn't want to connect to it from my machine because I was worried about it. Well, now I've got the same exact worry for mom's. And that machine that has, it is there's something you probably don't know about. I'm going to shut this down because I got a feeling I already know. I don't want to use it right now for any of this. It's updated. I don't even know if I want to install OBS Studio on it, and it'll cool my room off quite a bit. Okay. Shut it down, go back to my main. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to take a break pretty soon anyway, no matter what I do. And okay, so now that her machine has had that on there too, that addonbrowser.com malware crap, safe web, what's it called? Safe web with VirusTotal add-on. That changes my plan because now it's not going to be any safer to connect to this other machine. See, it's Fedora 14, and I've just been really careful with it. I don't go doing don't do a bunch of surfing and download. Sometimes I'll just do a Google search on it or something and look at, and I'm not downloading anything or anything. But the web browser doesn't run so good on it anyway because the machine. Well, I've got too much software on it. And it's only a dual core with 2 gig RAM, and it's and of course the web browser is only it gets to a point even when you're running your Firefox in standalone portable type mode, it gets to a point when that don't even update anymore, and that happened in the Fedora 14. So that's all the applications on there, a lot of them are not even available in the Fedora repos anymore. So, and it's some really cool apps. So I leave it just like it is. For things that I might want to do, and it just so happens it has that WinXP virtual machine on there, and I thought, okay, I can use that to build me I don't have a Windows system. The only Windows systems I have now, since that bad infection I had a couple of years ago, is my virtual machines of WinXP, and of course that machine will just barely run it because it's running its operating system and then WinXP in the virtual machine. This one does pretty good. It's a quad core with 4 gig of RAM, and as long as I'm not running a bunch of stuff, I can even be making a video. I've done it quite a few times. But I didn't want to. No, I didn't really want to expose this virtual machine to. Did I run it since then? I'm sure I have at times anyway. So anyway, that one over there, it is updated already because I updated it the other day when I got in there to do something on it because I didn't want to use this one. This one will be better because this machine's more powerful as far as just doing any kind of work. But I wanted to get rid of the risk of burning an infected rescue disk. That's the whole point. Okay, so I can still do that on that thing if I only use the camera and I don't use the remote desktop, because now I don't want to connect to the remote through remote desktop through either one of my machines. Okay, that's what I'm trying to work out in my head now. And that thing over there is going pretty fast, but I don't know if it would do it in a couple of hours. I mean, I can't imagine it scanning 3 terabytes or so of data in 3 hours. Even it now it's just looking kind of like the normal speed you see by a scanner. I actually probably am going to want to stop using it. I don't know if I would have caught it. When it finished, it's nice. Really automated, it just started scanning. The bad thing for what I'm trying to do right now is that it started scanning this huge drive that I really wanted to wait and do I mean, I could let it go. I could let that go for however long it takes and let it do it. The only reason I really don't want to is because, well, it might hang up what I'm trying to do today, but also this is not the newest version of Bitdefender. I mean, it's got the newest. Which, where's my camera? Oh, okay. It's got the newest. I'll just leave it like it is, and you can't really see. About. I'll click on About and tell you what it says. Bitdefender Rescue CD. Well, it doesn't say a version or anything. I don't remember ever seeing it. Well, I wasn't paying attention. For all I know, it could update. When you shut it down, you know it's going to go back to whatever version was on there. But it might update the virus definitions and the program. But then it's lost when you reboot. You know, when you shut down, because it's a live system. But I don't know. So anyway, so I don't know for sure that I'm using the newest version of Bitdefender. I know I'm using the new virus definitions. It took a good 5 minutes or so or more to download all of them, you know. So anyway, I was going to do, I really do need to, the very best thing to do would be to scan this backup drive in its entirety before I use anything on it to, you know, put back on my new machine my Lenovo i5 when I redo it. But what I thought I'd do to speed things up was just scan my Thunderbird and my personal directories and all that, you know, just them. The ones, my documents, you know, like that. But things that I'm going to put back on here. So Thunderbird's the number one thing, I know that. And my bookmarks, I would scan my bookmarks folder for sure, because I never have caught a HTML bookmark, you know, from a bookmark from Firefox having an infection in its own file itself, not just a link to a bad thing, but in the file. But I know it was very common to happen in Windows favorites files. I think they were .url files. They could be infected, and I've caught them many times being infected. So, I think it's a whole different thing now. I think what I'll do, thinking. Let me look at my plan one more time here. Yeah, report the malware. Now I can do that. How long have I been going? An hour and 28 minutes. Okay. I liked after. Well, yesterday I went 4 hours, and my cameras will do it, but they get more and more out of sync with my voice. So they get tired, and the router gets tired. Oh, I have forgot. Normally, I always reboot my router after every live stream, and I didn't do that, and I did. I haven't done that in the last 3 days. It's been working fine, but sometimes it quits working. The Wi-Fi cache gets full on the router, and it quits working right. But yeah, so really what I ought to do, because I was going to say I like to reboot my phones and get them refreshed, but I really haven't even. I just now realized I've been streaming these videos every day for the last. This is day number 4, I think, and I haven't rebooted the router. Lots of times I'll end up. Well, my modem is getting to where it must be getting old. I mean, not that it may be necessarily working any worse, but there's probably just more crap being sent through the network, you know, through my ISP, from websites and from everything. But anyway, I've been having. It's not the router; it's the modem, and I have to reboot it. I usually reboot it. Well, it depends, from once to 3 times a week, you know, nowadays. So what I could do to be safe is to reboot every, you know, modem, router, phones. Okay, so download OBS Studio. Well, that's on the back burner now. I don't even know if I want to do that on Mom's computer now until after I've had to reformat it. Put a question mark by it for now. Okay. report the malware. I really do want to check into that. Scan the USB drive. Well, I'm working on that. I'm going to put AVG auto. Okay. Was in mom's. And I deleted it. Okay, that's all I've got for notes right now. Okay. My brain is cattywonkered still. Okay, I'm going to take a little break because I need one anyway. Let everything just run as it is. And I may go ahead and reboot all that stuff before I come back. And maybe by that time I'll have figured out exactly what to do. Because it may be better to just... Well, there's still less risk of... I've got my best chance of getting a clean rescue, a vast rescue from the old machine, as long as it can make one. I'm not sure it can handle doing it. It's really slow in that WinXP virtual machine on the dual core. Now, on this one, it can do it, I think, unless something went wrong and it just didn't work or something. But, yeah. The only consideration was I was wanting to do remote desktop. So yeah, the safest thing, the best way to get a clean rescue disk is on a clean machine that I know is clean, or that I at least have a 99% or 95% idea that it's clean. And I don't have anything like that on this one now. Now on mom's either. Boy, that's... Yeah. So I was debating about whether I wanted to go to the trouble to try to, do whatever you got to do. It's liable to be a pain, but I haven't checked into it to report this site to Firefox and whatever else I could report it to. Well, I just did report it to Google, so that's good. They'll start blocking it. If they figure out it's a bad site, they'll just block it and won't let people go to it, or they'll warn you at least. I mean, they might not say stop you, but they'll tell you, hey, this is a bad site. So I'm glad I did that part. Alright, so I'm going to take a break, figure out exactly what to do next, which I think is going to be to start building that on the old Red Black BioStore is what I call that machine. Start building that. Yeah, that one there. Well, of course, that's just my monitor. You can't see. I couldn't remember if I was zoomed in on it or what. Start building see if I can build me a Bass Rescue. And I can't install any more software on my virtual machine on this machine. It's out of space. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to reformat it and get back all that whole Windows 7. Half of the drive has got Windows 7 on it that I don't use. The other one doesn't have a lot of room on its main drive either, but I might be able to install Malwarebytes or something if it's not already on there. If it makes a rescue disk, I'll just have to look and see. If it doesn't make a rescue disk, then it won't do me any good, because I don't want to plug my USB stick drive in there and risk infecting my little Windows XP virtual machine. As a rule, I never use a Windows-based virus rescue system, because first thing that's going to happen is it's going to get infected, and then your scanning can get broken and it won't do any good. So I always try to pick a rescue system that is running on a Linux distro, because it's got your best chance of not getting infected itself while it's doing its work. So, all right, I'm going to go now and come back in a little bit.